off right now?
Oh, no.
It says stop. It says start right there. Like, see how it says stop? That
No,
means
that's
it's
streaming.
I didn't see the push go out, just so y'all know.
Where does the description go again?
I have our mics down, just so you know, Dan.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. You could just say breaking, main suspect dead.
It's a camera.
Okay.
Just whenever you're ready.
So normally I hit start. Are we up?
Not on Facebook until you hit stop.
Okay, so I hit start here. We're already up on YouTube though.
Possibly, I'm not too good with YouTube.
Okay, here we go.
To go to YouTube and get it. I'm sorry if I'm that way.
Alright, here we go, Dan. Good evening, everyone, and happy Friday. Thank you for joining us for this 13 Plus FastCast. I'm Ashley Bowerman.
And I'm Dan Maries.
We begin with some late-breaking news. After a days-long search, the suspect in the Maine mass shooting is dead.
Yeah, multiple sources reporting that Robert Card is dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. They say Card's body was found in the woods near Lisbon, which is about 8 miles from Lewiston. He was found in an area near the recycling center from which he had been recently fired from.
That's right, and police have been searching for Card since Wednesday night after he opened fire on crowds of people at a restaurant and bowling alley in Lewiston, Maine, that resulted in the death of 18 people and the injury of over a dozen more. Officials released the identity of the 18 victims today. You can see some of them pictured here. They range in age from 76 to 14 years old. A press conference with Maine officials is going on right now. It began at 7 p.m. Tucson time. If you weren't able to catch it, you can see it now on KOLD.com. Well, ongoing concerns about safety on Tucson public transit have taken a bit of a twist.
Yeah, Suntran bus driver is now charged with assaulting a passenger. Wilbur Nimmons was arrested last night near Oracle and Grant in Midtown. 13 News reporter Mary Coleman has more on why some believe we are seeing more violent encounters on city buses.
Yeah, guys, a lot of people I spoke with today had mixed emotions about riding public transit here, and many of them are actually defending the driver in last night's incident, saying these are far too common. But the city's data shows something a little different.
Say your name.
Wilbur Nimmons.
This is video of Wilbur Nimmons' first time before a judge following an incident last night on Grant and Oracle. According to a criminal complaint, Nimmons is a Suntran bus driver and was training another person. It says a man got on the bus. There was a disagreement between him and Nimmons when a man threw a grapefruit at Nimmons, hitting his arm. The document says Nimmons followed the man off the bus with a knife, and Nimmons started swinging the weapon. The other man was cut on his arm, but is expected to survive. Nimmons was charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault, but it's a situation that has brought up the discussion of safety on public transit in Tucson.
I've been attacked on the bus system, like headbutted, 3 times.
You can't expect what people are going to do, they do whatever they want, but most of the time I feel safe.
In fact, many have come to the defense of Nimmons. One woman says, this bus driver Wilbur is an incredible person who is one of Suntran's finest bus drivers. He had to have gotten provoked or threatened. He is seriously one of the best, end quote. Another person says, I've been riding Suntran for almost 30 years. Wilbur is one of the nicest, coolest drivers they have. There must have been something serious going on for this to have happened.
More people are riding the buses because it's free.
And that's what some believe has led to some of these dangerous altercations. But this data provided to us by the city shows assaults have actually declined. It shows assaults on Suntran buses are the lowest they've been since 2018. And their data also shows over 90% of drivers have not been involved in or reported an assault. And for right now, bus fares are set to remain free through the end of 2023, and the council will revisit the issue. Now, we did reach out to union reps about this, but did not hear back from them. TPD did, however, give us a statement reading in part, "We have general safety tips to encourage people to always be aware of your surroundings. If you see something, say something, and walk away if any situation escalates, and call 911 to report any illegal or dangerous behavior." Reporting downtown, Mary Coleman, 13 News.
Now, we now know the name of the suspect responsible for shooting and injuring a federal agent in Tucson last week. This is video of the scene where an ICE deportation officer was shot in the arm last Tuesday in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven near 29th and Columbus, that is just north of Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. According to the Department of Justice, 39-year-old Gerardo J. Rosales of Tucson has been arrested on charges of assault on a federal officer and being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. We do not know the ICE agent's identity, but do know he is recovering from his injuries at home. Rosales could face up to 20 years in federal prison.
Well, now to some video of an officer involved in shooting last night at a home in the 100 block of West Bilby Road. Tucson police received reports of an armed man shooting into the air. When officers arrived, the man was in his front yard of that home and allegedly fired multiple rounds. That's when he was shot and ultimately killed by an officer. No officers were hurt in this shooting. The name of the man killed has not yet been released. The Pima Regional Critical Incident Team is handling the criminal investigation, while TPD's Office of Professional Standards will conduct a separate investigation to determine if any policy violations occurred.
Now to a story on our website. A Rio Rico man was killed in a deputy-involved shooting in Santa Cruz County last night. The Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office says 41-year-old David Ramon Hernandez was shot in the 400 block of Gorian Court. Authorities say Hernandez was agitated and armed with 2 knives. The deputy who shot Hernandez has been placed on administrative leave, which is normal for shootings involving law enforcement. The investigation is underway. Now to another story you'll find at KOLD.com. In Safford, Arizona, a lockdown has been lifted after reports of an armed student. Police say they were called to Safford High this morning for reports of a student on campus with a gun. Safford is about 2 hours northeast of Tucson. We're told not only was the high school on lockdown, so were surrounding schools and even daycares. After reviewing surveillance and searching the school, investigators found no evidence of a gun. The investigation is ongoing.
The growing strength of labor unions is bringing change here in southern Arizona. Raytheon employees in Tucson have a new contract, and miners are back at the bargaining table with ASARCO. Raytheon's machinists and aerospace workers signed an agreement with calls for significant pay raises over the next 3 years. The agreement also maintains their health care and retirement benefits. The union feels the momentum is at their back. Meanwhile, the Teamsters struck ASARCO nearly 4 years ago, and it was bad timing then. The union members did not get much in terms of pay and other benefits. They are back at the bargaining table again with a renewed sense of optimism. Well, the man accused of threatening to commit a mass shooting at the University of Arizona this week made his first appearance in a federal court. A judge ordered Michael Lee to remain in custody at least until a detention hearing is held on Monday. The federal complaint says Lee started posting messages on Snapchat last Sunday night. Police say he alluded to committing a mass shooting against fraternities and sororities on campus with an AR-15. Investigators say Lee also talked about his lack of acceptance by society in certain groups in college. He was arrested during a traffic stop, and investigators say he admitted to making those online threats. Agents say they found Lee's car was parked on the U of A's Greek Row on several nights earlier this month.
Now to the latest in the war in the Middle East. Israel is expanding its ground operation tonight. It comes as casualties in Gaza are on the rise. Today marks 3 weeks of this war as the destruction continues and the death as well. The World Health Organization is now calling for $80 million in aid to respond to the humanitarian needs. The National Security Council says the U.S. would support a pause to get humanitarian aid, fuel, and electricity into Gaza. Meanwhile, in Syria, the U.S. military carrying out airstrikes on 2 facilities. They targeted locations where Iranian-backed militia groups store weapons. The facilities were used by Iranian forces to help carry out attacks on U.S. forces over the last few days. That's according to the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the strikes were in self-defense and are separate from the ongoing conflict in Gaza.
Well, now to some exciting news and happening now. Game 1 of the World Series between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers is happening right now. From what I can see, it appears
5-3.
We're winning. So
Yes,
that's some
great
good
news.
Yes. And now to some video out of the city of Phoenix. They are embracing the chaos of the Diamondbacks playoff run. The World Series is coming to Phoenix for at least 2 games next week. Today, city leaders held a press conference to talk about what's being done to prepare. Mayor Kate Gallego says between the Super Bowl back in February, the World Series, the NASCAR championships this weekend, and the Final Four next week, Phoenix is feeling like the center of the sports universe.
We would encourage people to take the light rail system to come into our downtown. On Halloween, we will have World Series, Phoenix Suns, a sold-out concert, a major convention, and so much more.
And to help everything run smoothly, the city is putting extra police officers on duty. They've also put the Super Bowl Planning Committee back to work to handle the large-scale planning for an event like the World Series, which we know requires a lot of demand.
And hopefully the D-backs will pull off that win tonight and keep on going.
Hopefully they will. I know a lot of people here in the state are rooting for them, but we do want to reiterate some information if you're just now tuning in for us. One of the main reasons why we did want to come on live tonight is regarding the breaking news we received this evening. After a days-long search, the suspect in the main mass shooting is dead.
Yeah, multiple sources reporting that Robert Card is dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. They say Card's body was found in the woods near Lisbon, which is about 8 miles from Lewiston, where the carnage took place. He was found in an area near the recycling center from where he had been recently fired.
And police, of course, have been searching for Card since Wednesday night after he opened fire on crowds of people at a restaurant and a bowling alley in Lewiston. That resulted in the death of 18 people and an injury of over a dozen more. Officials have released the identity of the 18 victims today. You can see some of them are on our website. We have photos of those. Those have been made public now. Of course, CNN has a lot of reports with family members. You know, a lot of people now coming forward, shedding their grief in all of this as we've been reporting this week. The victims in this shooting range in age from 76 to 14 years old. Like we mentioned, a press conference did take place this evening. It kicked off at 7 p.m. Tucson time. If you'd like to watch that and learn more details, that is on our website.
It's at KOLD.com. Well, that's going to do it for this 13 Plus FastCast.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on the news at 10.
10 o'clock, I'll be there.